Hi, I'm Karen Perez, Chair of Hillsborough County School Board. I want to welcome you to Hillsborough County Public Schools, a donde servimos más de 200,000 de estudiantes. That includes children in preschool and adults through our workforce program.
Hi, I'm Jessica Vaughn, the school board's vice chair. Our district is the 7th largest in America, and our team is made up of 24,000 people working at close to 250 sites across the county.
Our district is diverse and dedicated. Our board meetings are held in our board auditorium on select Tuesdays at 4 p.m. The best way to serve our students and our community is to involve you, the public, in what we do.
You are welcome to meet or email any of our board members and follow our district on social media. School board meetings are covered live by Hillsborough Schools TV on Spectrum 635 and Frontier Channel 32.
Meetings are also streamed live on our website at hillsboroughschools.org. Closed captioning is provided on all broadcasts, and past meetings are available in our online archive.
We are interested in what the public has to say. We'll include time for audience comments before we address our business items. Our agenda and any supporting materials can be viewed online in advance. They are posted 7 days before each meeting on our website at hillsboroughschools.org.
Our vision is preparing students for life, and that means all students every day. Todos los estudiantes, todos los días. Thank you for your interest in education. With your help, we are making decisions that shape our community's future.
The board meeting of April 16, 2024 is called to order. Member Vaughn will now lead us in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Will you please acknowledge our student entertainment?
Yes, I would like to thank West Tampa Elementary School, along with Principal Kevin Kastner and Music Director Ashley Gillespie. These wonderful students entertained us prior to the start of our board meeting. At this time, we would like to invite our students up to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Javon Gideon, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hello, my name is Annie Yelly Maldonado. I am one of the only 4th graders today.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Norton. I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Gretchen Ordunes. I'm in 5th grade. Hi, my name is Naomi Williams, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Nevaeh Smith, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Analia Maldonado. I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Hammond Smith, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Alex Sani, and I'm in 5th grade.
Hi, my name is Hannah Carricker. I'm from the University of Tampa, and I'm the music intern at West Tampa Elementary.
Hi, my name is Ashley Gillespie, and I'm the music teacher at West Tampa. Thank you so much for allowing us to come play here.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Emma Murray, assistant principal at West Tampa.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Kastner, and I'm the very, very proud principal of all these students and all of the students at West Tampa Elementary, and I'd like to thank you all for letting us perform here for you guys today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Parents, if you'd like to come up and take a quick photo. Oh, thank you. Great job. Great job.
We have one withdrawal item today. Item 503, approve the Nike 5-year contract extension. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Let the record reflect that all board members are present. I have 3 sets of minutes to be approved today. February 27th, 2024 School Board Workshop, March 26th, 2024 School Board Workshop, and April 2nd, 2024 School Board Meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I have a motion by Member Combs and a second by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? Seeing none, please vote when your lights appear. And the motion passes unanimously. Board members, I would like to go over the format of today's meeting. As a reminder, we are a nonpartisan board who believes all children can be empowered to learn and succeed. Our decisions will be made with that understanding. To pave a way for efficient and effective agenda statements and or questions, board members will have 5 minutes to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. Afterwards, the superintendent can respond. If you have any further questions, you are asked to get back in the queue. Member Vaughn will now read the board guidelines.
Thank you. As we begin this afternoon's meeting, please allow me to quickly review the format of our school board meetings. Please silence all electronic devices. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear the meeting upon stepping away from the dais. This meeting can be viewed with closed captioning on the live webcast, on cable TV, and on video monitors here in the auditorium. It can also be viewed with closed captioning in the online video archive.
We have one item scheduled for time certain, and that's at 6 p.m. employee input. We have one recognition for today, A01 recognition of the month of the military child. And Member Hahn will highlight this recognition.
Thank you, Chair Perez. April is the month of the military child, the month that we honor our military families, especially our youngest heroes, the children of our military families. Military children continue to inspire us despite the challenges they face due to their unique situations. In Hillsborough County Public Schools, we have more than 4,600 military children across 240 of our schools. These children bring a spirit of leadership, caring, and achievement to our campuses. Our district is grateful for the partnership we share with MacDill Air Force Base, and we are proud of the way our schools work with the base and our military families to provide them the best possible support. In honor of the military child, everyone is invited to wear purple tomorrow, April 17th, as a visible sign to thank military children for their strength and sacrifices.
Thank you, Board Member Hahn. And now we're going to be...
Member Perez, can I say a few words?
Yes, actually,
Sorry.
yes.
I just want to recognize some people that we have here joining us today in the audience. I'm certainly honored to recognize the month of the military child and the incredible sacrifices made by military families in our community and around the world. So I want to extend a warm welcome to the MacDill Air Force members present here today, including Colonel Edward Zepanik, Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Holland, Miss Sandra Kobila, Dr. Venetia Waters, Miss Angela Ocampo, Miss Tanisha McLeod, and Jane Spencer. I also want to recognize Marcus Murillo, our Hillsborough Chief of Innovation and Strategic Planning, and Kim Sukash, our District Military Liaison. All of these individuals, in addition to all of their other responsibilities, join me every quarter on the MacDill Council for Educational Excellence. So thank you all for your commitment to the to the MacDill HCPS partnership and for supporting our military families. As I mentioned, 4,600 dependents of active military in our district, 8,700 military connected students. And we are particularly proud of our 21 schools that have earned the Purple Star distinction, symbolizing again our commitment to providing a supportive environment for our military children. And these children, they really do face some unique challenges, including frequent relocations. With the average military family moving 3 times more often than their civilian counterparts, they actually attend an average of 6 to 9 schools during their K-12 years, which is an awful lot of movement. And as we speak, about 200 MacDill Air Force Base members are preparing for deployment, further emphasizing the importance of supporting our military children. Because as you can imagine, the stress that comes with having your parent deployed overseas. I want to just take a moment also to highlight some of the initiatives in our district that support military families. One, I want to express my gratitude to the Cogbill family for their generous funding, which enabled us to implement the student-to-student program at Plant, Robinson, and Riverview High Schools. This peer-to-peer student-led initiative brings together military and civilian students to welcome new students and create a positive environment and ease their transition into our schools. I also want to share that on April 10th, our teachers were involved in the iCivics grant, and they participated in an immersion day that included a panel discussion, a base briefing tour, and a lunch in the base cafeteria. And this experience provided our teachers with a better understanding of military families' unique needs. And I want to extend my thanks to iCivics for their funding and to Colonel Zapanik for your partnership and support around that project. And lastly, I'd just like to ask each of us to take a moment to remember and to honor and support the brave military children who sacrifice and adapt alongside their parents in service to our country. May God bless them, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hahn, and thank you for reading this recognition and recognizing our military personnel in the audience, and thank you for what you do on a daily basis for us in this country. Member Gray?
Outstanding. Thank you, Member Hahn. I actually was going to ask that we all stand in honor of those wonderful individuals in all of the MacDill service, everything that you do. My nephew actually is one of them right now that's going to be deployed. So thank you for everything, and it's an honor to be in front of you. Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Perez, if we could get a picture, if we could have some of our military MacDill Air Force Base members come on up, and let's get a picture all together, please.
Yes, please. Now we're going to invite Kelly Brennan to highlight Hillsborough County Supervisor of Elections Office 2024 Schools Volunteer Registration Drives and Vote Hillsborough Art Contests.
Hi, I was here to introduce Mr. Craig Lattimore, who is our Supervisor of Elections, and he will proceed with the rest of the announcements.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, distinguished members of the board, Superintendent, and of course, General Counsel. It's a pleasure to be here today. This is one of the most fun events that we have all year, that's for sure. We're here today to recognize some of the top schools that had the most registration, pre-registration of 16 and 17-year-olds, and of course 18-year-olds. You know, we constantly hear about that our students are our future. Well, actually, a lot of them are our present because they're 18 years old and they're going to be eligible to vote in the upcoming election. You know, we engage the high school students a couple different ways, with both registering to vote, and we're in each high school at least twice a year to do that, and then also with art contests that's really kind of exploded over time. It's been fantastic, I can tell you that. This school year we registered over 3,200 students. Since I came in office in 2013, we've registered over 35,000 students. So this is a great partnership that I certainly enjoy with this school district, and I want to thank you for that continued engagement for sure. I'm here today to recognize a number of people, but one I want to recognize Kelly Brennan, who's your supervisor of social studies 9 through 12, and Laura Hobby, the visual theater arts education K through 12. These are two of our best contacts and just really make things happen for us so that we're not floundering around when we get out at the school. I've got several people from my office here who have been involved with these efforts, and they're going to be working with us to hand out these awards. So let's start with the voter registration. Today we're going to recognize 6 high schools that we've named our 2024 Vote Hillsborough Champions. At each of these schools, more than 150 students, or more than 40% of the senior class population, registered to vote during one of the registration drives. So I'd ask for representatives to come forward if they're here from Durant High School, King High School, Dr. Karan C. Patel High School, Newsom High School, Plant City High School, and Sumner High School. Who's Plant City? Who's Plant City first? There we go. Congratulations to you there.
Patel is right there.
Patel? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, hang on. We're going to get a picture here, so don't run off.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Sir.
Sumner, perfect timing.
There you go. Great.
Wait.
Citizenship. Take care of it. King.
King?
Yes,
King.
High School.
There's an envelope on the back.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's jump up here and get a picture. Thank you all very much. Now we're on to the Vote Hillsborough Art Contest. You know, we started this several years ago, and it was just posters, basically. And we've really engaged the students now. You may recall last year we engaged our elementary students to design the new Future Voter sticker. And they did. They came up with some great ones. This year we decided to do a new I Voted sticker, and we had more than 200 entries from around the district. We'll be giving out these winning stickers during early voting this year, and we'll be featuring a lot of the designs we received in our voter education efforts. The submissions this year were truly outstanding. Our 3 finalists were selected by our staff and sponsors, and guess how we decided who the winner was? We voted on it. We actually had a runoff in this one with 200 entries. It was crazy. I want to start by thanking our art contest sponsors, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Busch Gardens. They've been absolutely terrific partners and have been some very exciting prizes that they're going to give to our top 3 finalists. So I'd like to invite Never Campbell and J.P. Taylor from Busch Gardens and Tara Batatio and Lindsay Settlemeyer from the Tampa Bay Bucks to join me up here to let everyone know about the package that they're going to be presenting.
Hello, I'm Navarre Campbell with Busch Gardens. I'm the Director of Sales and Events. So for our third place, we have 4 tickets to Busch Gardens with a parking pass. For second place, we have 4 tickets, 4 quick queues, and a parking pass. And for our first place winner, we have 4 tickets, 4 quick queues, and a Serengeti safari, as well as a parking pass. And then each guest will also be, or each person will also get a little Busch Gardens swag bag as well.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Tara Badiata with the Buccaneers. So our third place prize is an autographed Chris Godwin helmet. Our second place prize is a VIP treatment at our training camp. And first place is 2 tickets and a parking pass to a game of your choice for the 2023 season.
I told you we've got some super partners. The Lightning, unfortunately, couldn't be here today. They're in something called the playoffs. But they're providing prizes also. Second and third place students are receiving a Lightning swag bag with lots of fun things in it. First place will get that also, and a puck signed by Steven Stamkos. So fantastic. So let's bring up the winners. And I'm going to call up the students, and I know that there's also parents, teachers, and principals here supporting these students. So make sure to meet me in the lobby afterwards so we can get plenty of pictures with everybody. So first is third place, Scott Pitlack, Blake High School. Second place, Ariana Joyette, Tampa Bay Tech. Ariana couldn't be here, so her mother, Jennifer Joyette, and principal, Ernestine Woody Bethune, are here to accept on her behalf. And now we know who first place is. Aurora Gomez Garcia, King High School. Y'all 3 will stand right back here in front of the school board. So I'm going to show the school board first. This is some of the entries that we've had. Where's the I voted sticker? Oh, they have them already? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Don't.
We got one more bag all the way from the door. Again, thank you very much for this opportunity to recognize these outstanding students. This was just an overwhelming response that we had, so thank you all very much.
Thank you. The board welcomes comments from citizens and values your input in order to provide the most comprehensive response to your comments, our staff will follow up with you and will keep our board informed about your responses. Our board respects the public's right to speak to the board, and we appreciate you taking your time to be here. However, it is requested when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a board member or staff member, but rather directed at the issues. Any behavior intended to disrupt the orderly conduct of this meeting will not be allowed. Our civility policy is in place. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. This afternoon, each speaker will have 3 minutes. Reminder that your 3 minutes start when you begin speaking. When there are 30 seconds left, you will see a yellow light on the lectern. A red light and a chime will indicate when your time is up. I will now call up the first 5 speakers. The first speaker, please step up.
Mark Luther Largo. War is a racket. General Smedley Butler awarded 2 medals of honor. Your worshiping of the military is sick. Absolutely sick. Here's a headline: Perfect storm recipe with La Nina high ocean temps. Experts see a very active hurricane season. And then this headline, March 10th month in a row with record heat, scientists say. And there's the graph going back to 1850. And then what did I hear? Oh, we're going to get serious about solar. Yeah, well, your guy in charge of building the schools doesn't know that you're supposed to orient the buildings the right way. That's the first step in solar. See? Here are the Anasazi Indians going back over 1,500 years ago. And they knew the first step was proper orientation. See? And you idiots don't know. Over 30 years I've been saying high performance passive solar buildings. Before you consider the solar on the roof, which is active solar, the building must first be passive solar. Now, I don't know when you're going to educate yourself and understand the different concepts and what it means. This is inexcusable. It's malfeasance. By the way, I had a talk with my attorney, and you can't make a rule that says you people and the guy that's in charge of building the schools can't be mentioned by name. You're responsible, or better said, irresponsible. The money and the lives that are being sacrificed, it's not right. I mean, the future's dim. And just no excuse.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I'm Rachel. I'm a parent of 2 in your schools. We are one of your military families. I want to ask you, do you think that you prioritize my parental rights and education in making individual decisions for my 2 kids? Recently, I had an IEP meeting for both my kids. We requested an FBA for my youngest. Hopefully you know what an FBA is, seeing that you're on the school board. The school and I use this FBA to gather evidence on my kid's special circumstances, and then together at the next meeting, we use that evidence to make a plan, which will also be based on what evidence says works best for his disability. Evidence-based plans made with educated professionals are a reasonable request, and this is how my school supports my parental rights. Yet when I come here and say I want evidence-based measures, the folks who are speaking over me and attempt to control my children's educational environment by banning books, not a single one of which has ever been proven to be a systematic problem, throw a tantrum at the idea of evidence-based decisions. I'm supposed to take their non-professional word for it that these books that have been on shelves for decades are a problem, citing hypothetical children who don't exist but if one did would be considered an outlier in data. Is this supposed to instill confidence in me that my kids are being prioritized? The students who got up here last year about a book or the ones on their school's book review committees are ignored in favor of a hypothetical child who might read a book their parents don't like. Those of us who were sexually assaulted as teens who have the courage to come out and say what happened to us, we are ignored in favor of a hypothetical reality in which somehow a book will cause the abuse that happened to us, which, by the way, is not what happens. Thousands of those who see themselves in books like Identical, who finally felt they were not alone and there was hope for them, ignored in favor of a hypothetical scenario where the opposite happens. My voice as a parent, ignored in favor of people who come to this podium in support of non-evidence-based measures, people who I also see at the Hernando County School Board and I personally had to tell to stop harassing teenage girls. That's who comes here advocating to ban books. This is the culture of prioritizing random citizens' personal feelings about books that's been allowed to cultivate. What a situation to put me in, and yet I'm expected to believe that this is prioritizing my parental rights. Should I bring my kids in here and have it explained to them how these non-evidence-based decisions are somehow helping them, how they're supposed to take your word for it? Or could we admit the priority is control and centering people's delicate feelings and evidence is ignored? How long until this bleeds into my kids' IEP meetings? But I'm supposed to take your word for it that that won't also happen? You can center parental rights by making sure every parent knows they can make a plan individually with their media specialist, just like I do with IEPs for both my kids. 2 different kids, 2 different IEPs. It's not that hard. But I can't help but be concerned you will all eventually start letting citizens dictate IEPs too. Let me do my job without policy change dictated by random non-professionals who libelously claim that my school's librarian is sexualizing my kids. Thanks.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Colleen Bianucci, and I am a member of the Apollo Beach K-8 initiative. As a chair of our committee, I have been lucky to speak with many different families from different backgrounds and different experiences. And while we are all different in many ways, the consistent common thread has been our concern over the lack of viable public middle school options and our desire to do whatever it takes to improve the quality of education for our South Hillsborough students. I recently asked our current 5th grade families if they would keep their child at Apollo Beach if provided the option, and all but 2 said yes. One of the 2 who said no already has plans to move out of state due to the lack of viable middle schools. The overwhelming desire to stay at Apollo Beach is there. Now, I am confident that each of you before me share in our goal to make sure that all of our students receive a quality education. While we may have different ideas about what that looks like, it is safe to assume that we all believe that the children should be able to attend a school filled with highly effective teachers, supportive and structured administration, and a top-notch academic opportunity. Abe's parents have been fortunate for decades to be able to boast of all 3. Unfortunately, our community sees a gap in our area, a 3-year gap at the middle school level that we don't want impacting the foundation our Abe students have due to their amazing K-5 education. One valuable lesson that I have personally learned this year by meeting with each of you and advocating for our students is that it is one thing to point out a problem, but another to find a solution. And I firmly believe that with the support of many of you before us, our K-8 Initiative Committee has offered some fiscally responsible solutions that will better serve the middle school students in the South Shore region. And by turning Apollo Beach into a K-8, we are going to find a way to build upon the foundation that our Abe's teachers and faculty have already created. We are extending the sense of community that our Abe's family has already created. And we are providing our middle school students the academic opportunities that they need to succeed in high school and beyond. So I ask you to please look at this fiscally responsible idea before you that will not only solve the already dire middle school issue we face in Apollo Beach, but will also serve as an example of taking a great school and capitalizing on the opportunity to make it even better. I thank you all for your time, and I look forward to seeing you each in May. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have speakers 6 through 10 please line up? Next speaker.
Hello, my name is Jessica McNeve. I'm a proud parent of 2 boys at Apollo Beach Elementary. Today I have letters written from 2 of the ABES 4th grade classes. I have taken the time to read all these letters, and most of the children write about how ABES is a family to them. They said ABES has caring staff and they feel very safe attending the school. This shows how these kids are impacted daily by our principals, our teachers, guidance counselors, and the rest of our staff members. In the audience today, we have 3 4th grade teachers, 1 3rd grade teacher that represents our school. These teachers, along with our other teachers, know the importance of keeping our community together and the importance of making ABES a K through 8. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. Hello, school board members. Thanks for having us for public commentary today and allowing me to come to public commentary, although my name is Jen Hart and I'm a proud Hillsborough County public school teacher since 2004. I am also a lover of books and literacy instruction. I've been noticing a lot of speakers showing up to these meetings to urge you guys to ban books, so I thought I'd come and speak against banning books in Hillsborough County public schools. Firstly, generally speaking, book banning is censorship, which is un-American. It takes away the rights of individual parents to decide what content is appropriate for their own child. When you look closer at who and what are behind these escalating ban requests, the situation, in my opinion, becomes even more concerning. Just because a small, well-organized group of people, most of whom do not even have students enrolled in our public schools, show up to meetings and request book reviews, it does not mean they speak for the majority. Studies show that a small amount of people and groups are responsible for the drastically increasing book bans across the country, causing an outsized impact on what people are and aren't allowed to read, which is kind of heartbreaking. To give a more specific opinion, I thought that I would start reading the books that are actually up for ban in this county specifically, so I could kind of determine their appropriateness for myself. I started with Blankets. I have not read the other book yet. I would say that I would have fully allowed my high school student to read that book. He did graduate 2 years ago from Durant High School. It is a coming-of-age story that depicts the author's first relationship and love. I wanted to speak on it, but I also want this very appropriate for small ears because I'm an elementary school teacher. So all I'm going to say is there are some grown-up themes, but overall, the characters in the story are 17. They're in love. They don't fully engage because of religious beliefs. And honestly, with the content that's out there these days, that feels pretty wholesome to me. I would also just like to say that some of the illustrations in question are really comic book style. They're not particularly detailed. I would not consider them, that one word I'm not going to say that's like part of the law now. And I would also like to say that although I have not read the other book, Identical, I will say both of those books were already approved for high school libraries by the school-based review committee and a district-based review committee, meaning that the parents, teachers, and students at the school in question, or schools in question, voted to keep these books in their schools. So I ask, who really wants or needs these books banned at all? Thanks in advance for standing up to censorship.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Than me. Everybody's taller than me, though. Hi. 3 whole minutes. This is exciting. My name is Amy Marie Granger Welch, and I'm the president of the Hillsborough County Council PTA. Our council proudly supports nearly 200 local PTAs across Hillsborough. The Hillsborough County Council PTA and Hillsborough County Public School Department of Family and Community Engagement, in conjunction with the FACE PTA Family Engagement Initiative, are excited to launch a monthly recognition program that aligns with the national PTA standards for family school partnerships. As part of this initiative, we are developing a robust recognition program that celebrates and honors PTAs across all grade bands, from elementary to high school. We will recognize those PTAs that actively enhance parent engagement, foster transparent communication between parents and schools, and promote inclusive decision-making processes linked to learning starting Tuesday, May 14th at the school board recognition meeting. By adhering to the national PTA standards and leveraging the FACE PTA Family Engagement Initiative, we're committed to identifying and removing unique barriers to school involvement, engaging the community, increasing awareness of promoting school success and resilience, and ensuring compliance with best practices. Additionally, this effort will serve as a celebration of the Hillsborough County Council PTA's 100 years of advocacy, making a century of dedication to supporting students, families, and educators in our community. Through this collaborative effort, we will celebrate the significant contributions of PTAs that strengthen our educational community and empower families to play an active role in their children's academic journey. Together, we shape a future where every student thrives, every family is engaged, and every voice is heard, driving overall and continuous school improvement. Thanks. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Nika Uzochukwu, and I'm just here to give you a brief overview of some of my concerns with Hillsborough County Public Schools transportation. To start, I would like to first state that I am fully aware of the shortage of drivers, and I completely understand that because of this shortage situation, that there are days that my children's bus will indeed end up arriving late. Of course, I am not a fan of my children arriving to their stop late, but I'm sure that no parent would be. However, I understand the situation at hand, as I said. With that being said, my real issue in all of this is the total lack of communication. I do not receive any form of notification stating when the bus will arrive late. No phone call and no notification alerts from the Here Comes the Bus app. Nor do I receive any notification of bus substitution or schedule changes. And that is completely unacceptable, especially being that one of my children and several others on this particular route have disabilities. I have reached out to not only supervisors and upper management, but I still have no resolve. My children are dismissed from Lake Magdalene Elementary School at 1:55 p.m., and at this point, sometimes they do not arrive to their stop until well after 4 p.m. I called transportation several times, and I received several different responses to the situation, given that they actually answer the phone. And the Here Comes the Bus app is either not logged into by the driver at all, or as it did just yesterday and several other days prior, is tracking a whole other bus on a whole other route going in a whole other direction. It is truly terrifying to have absolutely no idea the whereabouts of your children, and extremely horrifying to see that no matter who you reach out to concerning the matter, there's no resolve. This has been going on for months at this point. It is as simple as an automated call or logging in properly into the app so that we, the parents, receive the notifications. As much as I would love for my children to arrive no later than 2:30 p.m. as they did in years prior, I'm realistic, and I understand why they have been unable to. However, again, the lack of communication, especially dealing with children with different disabilities on the bus, I do not and will not understand or find acceptable. And before this, there were several incidents where the bus not showing up at all in the mornings to pick up my children, or a problem with the driver. However, if I got into all of that, it would be over the 3 minutes. I have, however, provided printouts which detail a lot more of what has been going on throughout this school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Board, Superintendent. You all know me. I'm back. Mrs. Tina Williams-Brewster, a proud mom of 6, 4 of which have graduated from Hillsborough County, 2 which are remaining. Today I want to talk about communication, or the lack thereof. As I listen to these parents today, I recognize there's one common thread: consistent communication between our administrators, our guidance counselors, parents, and students. While there have been changes, they're not fast enough. We need to ask ourselves, who do we really serve? Is it at our convenience? I, so like the young lady who reached out before, has spoken to board members, admin. Heck, I've even went as far as Tallahassee. When is Hillsborough County Public Schools going to step up? Parents, yes, we may be viewed as a problem, but really we just want the best for our students. What that looks like depends on the student. But don't we at least deserve a phone call? If you tell a parent you're going to do something, please follow up. Even if you don't like me, I could care less. I'm not here for you. You're not here for me. We're here for the students. Students have a right to know, especially students with disabilities who take dual enrollment. Communicate. We all say we want change, but change happens internally, then externally. I am sick and tired of being side brushed when things going on in the school. What does a parent do when they've done everything? We follow your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step rule with no positive outcome. Communication is key. Consistent communication. It's okay not to know, but it's not okay to be ignored. We will not be silenced. We're going to continue. I've been branded as that parent, passionate, a problem maker. No, I'm just an advocate. An advocate, if you look up in the dictionary, means an agent of change. God granted me 6 agents of change. My duty is to make sure that they become the best versions of themselves. Communication is key. Let's do better. Our kids deserve it.
Thank you. Can I have speakers? 11 through 16 line up, please? Next speaker.
Alan Brewster, good evening. I also want to piggyback off of that and talk about the communication and the planning for students with disabilities, especially in high school. We've dealt with several high schools with students with disabilities, and one of the conclusions that I've came to is that all guidance school counselors does not provide the highest level of information when it comes to the students' options for matriculating through the school to graduate. I had a student at Jefferson High School, and the information that was given in the planning was poor. And I found that out later on after she graduated. Now I have a daughter at Gaither High School. Her school counselor, Mr. Mazard, he should be praised. I mean, we've learned so much from him, and it's like, wow, we wish we would have had that information for the first 3 kids. And I know this for a fact, that all guidance counselors, school counselors, are not doing their diligence to educate the students on what's available, what that plan looks like, step by step, what they need to do to graduate if they want to matriculate to college, or if they want to go into a skilled trades position. The information is just not being put forth. Student teachers and staff, some of them are checked out. They are really checked out. And we're dealing with that now at Gaither High School. They're just doing whatever. There's no repercussions. There's no consequences to their behavior. Teachers are not addressing issues in the classroom. And the student comes home and says, these kids are off the hook. They're just doing whatever. And the teacher just says, oh, well. And it's like, what are you doing? Where's the head leader? Where's the administrator? They say, oh, he's aware of it. Then why aren't there action being taken? Why not? Why should a student with a disability have to suffer that, endure that, their 4 years in high school? Why? And people just sitting around collecting a check.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Manish. I'm a father to Rakshanai and Parinai. My both daughter, they have studied in the Hillsborough County in Seminole Heights School. My first daughter, she moved from there to Farrell. Second one, she's in the Head Start right now. Past 2 years. Recently, I came to know from the management that my daughter has been shifted to the different school, while my house is 477 steps away from that. So I asked the school principal and everybody how. They said, no, we sent out an email and everything for the registration and boarding and zoning and different things. I said, fine, but I have not received an email from you. She says, no, we have sent you. Then I sit down on her table. I said, can you show me the email which you sent it to me? Then they checked. Unfortunately, and from my side I can say fortunately, they have not sent me any email. They said, no, you have not registered any email. I said, but the day when I registered my child in the school, in the communication, I've written my number, my wife's phone number, my email address. So how come I'm not receiving an email? She registered, the principal, Dr. Lazarus, the same day. After registering, she said, you will be receiving any mails, many mails. Up to now, I have not received any mail. So now my question is, my daughter, which is 477 steps, which is 0.2 miles away from my home, she's been shifted to the different school, which I'm not accepting because I had two solid opportunities to move from this state to the different state to work with the partnership business, which I did not move because of the house nearby. I am a working class person. Even though to attend this meeting here, I had to take off. My daughter, she goes to that school, she knocks up by 3:30. She waits outside of the school 35 minutes for me to go and pick her up. Now, if she is shifted to the different school, then I have to take 2 time off, which is not acceptable. So I don't know how it's going to work for me. I need a help from the board, please. And they says these things will open the, what do you call this? I don't know. This choice application will open in July, but I'm not a computer literate person. If I was, I would have been seated in this chair among these rather than working somewhere else.
We're going to have one of the superintendent's going to have one of the cabinet members help you with this tonight.
Please. So do you want me to wait here?
Yeah, they're going to help you with it this evening.
Thank you.
Tracy Brown.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Bianca Goolsby with Teaching for the Culture. I stand before you as a voice for countless employees who have endured a toxic work environment within our district for far too long. It is imperative that we address the critical issues of retention and retaliation within our schools and leadership. Our employees deserve better. They deserve to work in an environment where they feel valued, respected, and supported in their mission to educate our children. Yet the reality is that many of them are feeling demoralized, overworked, and underappreciated. The alarming rate in which employees are leaving our district speaks volumes to the state of our workplace culture. Is pay a factor? Yes, absolutely. However, the environment of the workplace has compelled employees to seek other opportunities outside of this organization. Can you blame them? The goalpost continues to move without the funding and resources to match. Many of our employees are doing everything they can, and it is still not enough. Did any of you require on why the chief of schools left mid-school year in a sudden departure, or why school administrative positions are being shifted so much this year? Grievances are being mishandled, neglected, or swept under the rug entirely. The Office of Professional Standards, the very entity meant to ensure the fairness and accountability, is failing to provide the oversight needed to address these issues with fidelity. The lack of accountability within this system is not only detrimental to our employees' well-being, but is also to the quality of education our children receive. We must confront these issues with accountability, transparency, and integrity. Buzzwords for y'all. We must hold employees accountable when they cause harm and protect our employees that are reporting on the harm. Our employees deserve an environment free of retaliation, nepotism, and abuse. And our students deserve nothing more than the best. So, while y'all owe the qualified educators more money and the support professionals more money, you also owe them a environment to where that they can work, grow, collaborate, and have respect. They deserve better, and so do our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, thank you for your time today. My name is Carmen. I'm a lifelong citizen of Hillsborough County as well as a business owner here. Today I'm here to discuss books, book bans, school libraries, and naturally the day after tax day, my taxes. Let's start with the boring part, taxes. As a homeowner, I happily pay my portion of the millage that is allocated to the Hillsborough County Public Schools that enrich children's lives every day. I am grateful for librarians and media specialists hired by the school district for the essential services they provide for children, diligently searching for books that represent all the children in the county and their myriad of experiences. Professionals who are constantly educating themselves to understand how to do it better. Professionals who support our students. I trust the district media specialists and the choices they make for our students. What I question as a district is in the midst of yet another wave of book challenges are what my resources paid for by my tax dollars are being taken away from students learning for special meetings to review books that have already been carefully vetted. How does the budget accommodate for this additional expense? What is the return on the investment of this additional expense whose sole purpose is to remove books from shelves? This is yet another way that resources are being removed from schools and libraries with no recompense, and I mourn the drain on resources that could instead be furthering education of our Hillsborough County children. Reading is a foundational skill critical to future learning and to exercising our democratic freedoms. We can trust individuals to make their decisions about what they read and believe. Parents have the right to guide their children's reading, but parents should not be making that decision for other parents' children. Specifically, a small group of people, no matter how loud, should not be dictating what books other people's children are allowed to read. Young people deserve to see themselves and the circumstances of their lives reflected in the library's books. Limiting people's access to books does not protect them from life's complex and challenging issues. Removing and banning books from libraries is a slippery slope to government censorship and the erosion of our country's commitment to freedom of expression. We are already paying professionals to select books for kids, so why are we duplicating the expense of reviewing books questioned by those who are not qualified and don't have the best interest of the children in the Hillsborough County schools? And they possibly don't even contribute to the tax base that I know I do. Specifically, in the case of the upcoming review of Identical and Blankets, books are tools for understanding complex issues. When it comes to our students, we have a duty to make evidence-based decisions. There is no evidence that either of these books has ever caused harm to children in the last 20-plus years they have been on their shelves. Ultimately, a small group of loud and unqualified individuals should not be making decisions affecting the parental rights of all the parents of this district. I ask the school board to reject any efforts to ban books and allow individuals and parents to make the decision about what they can read and believe. I appreciate you in advance standing against censorship as well as your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Well, that was a perfect segue. So today I just want to first read to you from the statutes. This is from 1006.28, the duties of a school board and district superintendent. Each school district board is responsible for the content of all materials made available in a school or classroom library. So this ultimately falls on you. The books that are chosen for our school libraries rises and falls on you. And as I read to you from last week, Invisible Monsters Remix is still on school shelves. You have made a national name for yourselves now with that book that talks about felching. I won't review that today, but I will read to you from 2 other books by Pollanek that are still in our school libraries as well. Why didn't you do this research after I came to the last board meeting and discover for yourself? Haunted. This other book by Pollanek. And here we go. With just the tip of one finger, the kid snaps the long ridge of wax off the candle. He rolls it smooth between the palms of his hands, long and smooth and thin. Stoned and horny, he slips it down inside, deeper and deeper into the piss slit of his boner. With a good hank of the wax still poking out the top, he gets to work. Even now, he says, those Arab guys are pretty damn smart. They've totally reinvented jacking off. Is this what kids deserve to see in books? Is this them seeing themselves in books? Is that really the argument that we're going to put here? These are X-rated books. They should have explicit content warnings on them. I can't even believe that we're still in this discussion and still talking about book banning. This is called protecting children, and I think all of you have common sense enough to recognize that these books are not being banned. We're just trying to protect our children from being exposed to this. And kids don't even know what they're picking up. That's why I call them landmines of pornography. They may pick up a book because they think, oh, haunted, it looks like a scary book. I like scary books. And this is what they're going to read. And I'm telling you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If I had all day, you would hear a lot more from me. There is more to come, because not only do we have, I think, 37 Polinek books in our school libraries, but I discovered that he has an inspirational author that we also have in our libraries that contain more of this deviancy and perverse sexual things. He actually said that he gets some of his inspiration from the Testicle Festival. You can imagine what goes on at the Testicle Festival. Anyway, so that's about it for today. As a school board, you really, really need to get on the ball, because this is not going away. I'm not going away. I have a vested interest in protecting the environment that my kids are growing up in. These are students that are shaping the environment, and they're being allowed to read this stuff in Hillsborough County schools.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, honorable members of the Board of Education. My name is Mrs. Lucinda Johnson, and I appreciate the opportunity to address you today regarding some pressing concerns I have regarding the educational experience of my children, particularly in relation to their academic performance at Buchanan Middle School. Firstly, I'd like to draw your attention to the disparities between the grades reflected on my children's report cards and their performances on the state's exams. While their report cards may showcase a mix of A's, B's, and a couple of C's, the results of the PM1 and PM2 exams paint a different picture, revealing significant decreases in both ELA reading and mathematics scores for both my son, Mr. Johnson, and my grandson, Mr. Campbell. For example, in the packets I have provided, their report cards for all 3 quarters. Also enclosed is their PM1 and PM2 scores for ELA and math. These declines are alarming, especially considering being classified at level 1, which indicates a need for substantial support. However, during an IEP meeting on November 9th, 2023, I requested tutoring, but was told my son did not meet the criteria by Mr. Crook, the principal, consequently being denied access to Tier 1 interventions. These raise questions about the effectiveness of the teaching methods and measurement practices employed at Buchanan Middle School. Furthermore, I am deeply troubled by the apparent lack of consistency and thoroughness in evaluating students' understanding. Allowing students to use notes, textbooks, posters, and other aids during all quizzes and tests undermines the integrity of the evaluation process and fosters surface-level learning rather than genuine comprehension of the material. For example, in mathematics, the examples of rapid score increases following test corrections only highlight the inadequacy of current assessment practices in accurately measuring students' understanding. How can teachers assess a student's proficiency when such significant discrepancies exist between initial and corrected scores? It is evident that the current approach to education at Buchanan Middle School is failing to adequately prepare students for future academic success and is, in essence, allowing them to progress without mastering essential skills. This is unacceptable and undermines the very foundation of our education system. In conclusion, I urge the Board of Education to thoroughly investigate these concerns and take decisive actions to address the systematic issues plaguing Buchanan Middle School. Our children deserve a quality education that equips them with the knowledge and skills necessary to succeed in an increasingly competitive world. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Erin Quinn, and I'm a former Hillsborough County teacher, a parent of 2 children in our public schools, and Robinson High School PTSA president. First, I'd like to thank the school board for voting to place the millage on the ballot this November. Your dedication to transparency and improving our school conditions is notable. I'd also like to thank you for your support of military families, as I am part of one who is currently in month 11 of a deployment. Next, I'd like to bring the board a proposal for a cost-free benefit that would bolster our school employees and help with retention, which, as we know, has been a challenge. Let me share with you a specific circumstance to illustrate the necessity of this change. At Robinson, our head of guidance is still waiting for her incoming kindergarten daughter to be accepted into a magnet choice program here in HCPS. She already has one child at the school to which she applied, but she has been passed over in 2 choice windows. If her daughter is not accepted, she will have to leave Robinson in order to get her own children to school. Even if she is accepted over the summer, she will struggle to get a host spot that will allow her to continue arriving at Robinson in time for each school day. I think everyone who has worked in schools knows the importance of continuity, not to mention the shortage of available school counselors. If this is her circumstance, I am sure that other HCPS employees are in similar situations. Why are we telling our staff that they should sacrifice their family's well-being in order to serve their students? I propose that the board immediately examine the choice lottery policies and adopt a policy that allows HCPS employees to skip the lottery and move to the front of the line as a benefit of their employment. This costs no money, but it does show our investment in our most valued asset, our faculty. Thank you for your consideration of this matter. Last, I'd also like to thank Member Perez for agreeing to participate in Robinson PTSA's mental health presentation on May 2nd and personally extend an invitation to the entire board and to HCPS families to attend this free public event at 6:30 on May 2nd at Robinson High School. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Yvette Moreno. I'm a mom, an educator, and a person eager to finish my degree as an educator. I know the high need of teachers in Hillsborough County. I have been a substitute for the last 2 years, and every day that I go to the website, I see over 100 jobs, positions, making me wonder what all these schools are doing with their students if a substitute doesn't show up. And I know these students are going to split in a different classrooms, or they are going to have a different substitutes until they find a teacher or a sub who is willing to take a long-term position. One of the prominent universities around in Hillsborough County, USF, offers an affordable degree, but it's very hard for students like me, a mother and an immigrant. USF is a great university and a school, and the education program is well designed to prepare teachers. This program helps us to understand all the needs of our students and guide us to make accommodations for our students. However, they are not willing to make accommodations for their students. They are not willing to let us pick up our schedule or to just or bring us another opportunities. The only option that USF is giving to me and to other students in the same situation is to pursue a bachelor degree in another subject and take the teaching test. I keep arguing with USF about the importance of getting the knowledge to help our students. I am here to ask you to help me to do connection with Hillsborough County College or to USF to make better choices for people like me. Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no further public comment, I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Member Washington. I need a second, please. And I have a second by Member Rendon. Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes with Member Gray away from the dais. And the consent agenda has been approved. The following items will now be heard: C-301, C-302, C-504, C-601, C-714. Item 301, request for proposals, grant budget, and compliance management solutions. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First agenda item this evening, Title I Grant Budget and Compliance Management Solutions is a software that allows for the tracking and monitoring of grant funding at both the school and district levels. It will facilitate an efficient process for schools to access, utilize, and track grant funding, such as Title I funding, and aligns to our strategic plan of fiscal and operational responsibility. This software facilitates the collection of required federal and state compliance documentation. The RFP committee was comprised of district staff and principals looking for a solution to make spending and tracking easier. The software can tie multiple grant balances together for principals so they can better utilize all grant funding and make strategic decisions. That is item 301, and we have Greg Canella, our executive director from our federal programs, is also here if we have any additional questions on this item.
Thank you, Superintendent. I need a motion and a second to approve item C301. I have a motion by Member Vaughn and a second by Member Washington. Member Rendon, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, thank you so very much. So, I do appreciate you very much for taking the time to go through the details of this. I think this is a prime example of ways in which we need to better look at our systems within the district. At the end of the day, we are currently looking with our Title I dollars that when there's a request that comes in through the schools, we are hand entering all of our data for this process, and that is just completely unacceptable. We are in a age of technology. We should be making it more efficient. We should have better accountability on a regular basis, being able to have those funds and knowledge about it. What bothers me the most is we've just spent $20 million on a new system called N4, and we can't even use our Title I dollars to be managing it through that system. We're having to buy another system because it can't be managed through that system. It's just one way in which we are utilizing funds in a very non-strategic manner. These are funds that could be used for other things, whether it's, if we're going to build a system and a technology within our system that's going to work for our finance, it's going to work for our HR, we should absolutely be able to track our Title I dollars. And knowing that we have a $20 million system that can't do that is unacceptable as a board member. And so I think as we're going out to taxpayers for a referendum, as we as board members constantly are looking for ways to make things more efficient, to do things better for our system, it has to be said that although I'm going to vote for this because it's absolutely necessary, it is unacceptable that we should even have it at the table. So I just want to make that very clear.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Vaughn?
Thank you. I appreciate Member Rendon's passion towards making sure that we use our money wisely and make sure we use our systems as well as we can. But I want to clarify, because I think it's important for a lot of my principals who are trying to access their Title I dollars, who have had concerns about the time frame because it is so laborious with people working on it. And I want to clarify on the record that with the purchase of this system, which is a one-time purchase, correct? There's no annual contract with this. This is a one-time purchase.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
That it will speed up efficiency and allow the request to use the Title I dollars to flow through more quickly and efficiently without a lag time on that, because that's my biggest concern.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I just have one question. Will this allow all the Title I dollars to be utilized efficiently and not leave anything on the table?
Yeah, it'll provide much more accounting management for the principals so they can see up-to-date balances right away. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Seeing no further comments or questions, please vote when your light appears. And it passes unanimously. Next item, 302. Increase the expenditures for requests for proposal supplemental nursing services. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, there are a total of 530 health services positions with 158 nursing vacancies across the district. 143 of these vacancies have been filled by vendors through contracted services. Nurses have treated over 451,000 students for illnesses and injuries and provided over 205,000 medication dosages over 38 procedures and performed over 115,000 vision screenings. This increase in expenditures allows HCPS to utilize the 7 local nursing agencies that are currently providing nursing services to HCPS students in various capacities to address our critical nursing shortage. Currently, we have filled the following vacancies with contracted nursing services, and that's 31 RNs, 112 LPNs, for a total of 143 filled vacancies. Filling these positions has benefited all students by helping to ensure that these students' health, wellness, and safety needs are supported so they remain in school. $3.5 million was originally budgeted for salaries in the 23-24 school year. The amount projected for the year and needed from the general fund totaled $10.5 million, which is an increase of $7 million for the remainder of the 23-24 school year. And that is item 302.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Vaughn. Members Gray, Combs, and Rendon, pull this item. If you could please get in the queue so I could. Member Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We're in a rather large conundrum. The need, of course, is there when we quote the statistics that 50% of our students by 3rd grade have chronic illnesses, and I know I've said this before, and diabetes, asthma, obesity. The need is very much real. You know, I look back, Superintendent Van Ayers and board, excuse me, when we had the COVID crises, and then the need, the nurses were so valuable and needed, and we had them. Well, fast forward, the surrounding counties raised their amount of money per nurse up to $6,000 to $10,000 in Pasco. So a lot of our nurses have left. Now, one of the things, and I know Superintendent, we talked about this, that why are we not paying the same, if not more, than the agencies pay our nurses? And that's the big rub. The nurses are getting lower than the agencies. So why wasn't this corrected when we started to see our nurses leave in droves? I don't know the answer, and you were not superintendent then, but the reality is there's a rub. The nurses are getting, our nurses, Hillsborough County Public School District nurses are getting less than the agencies. Now we have a greater amount of need, which now has led us to more agencies. I'm not a big proponent of outsourcing. I understand that there's the crises. I will say that I'll stand by this because the welfare and the health of the student is a priority of all of us as board members and yourself. But I really will say I have a hesitancy to continue on this versus getting our own nurses paid at least equally, and should the millage get passed, of course, we can bump that up accordingly. But I stand divided on this, and you know, I know the need is there, so yes, I'll vote for it. But then, you know, again, there's a level of unfairness. Superintendent, would you like to remark on?
My remarks would be everything you said is 100% accurate. It is. I mean, that is an area of need for us, and an area know that with our rates that we currently pay our nurses, as an area we have to focus on. It'll be a focus of mine in the coming years, that we can compete with some of these contracted agencies, because ultimately we want our nurses, our RNs, LPNs in-house with us. So I see this as a short-term solution to where we can get our pay where it needs to be. But I want this board to know that's a priority of mine. Ms. Brown, Ms. Saya, and Ms. Ross as well. So,
and I just want to thank Dr. Ross for her heartfelt care of the nurses. Every nurse in every school knows you, Dr. Ross. They appreciate you. You're commiserate with the situation, and a lot of them are staying because of you, just so you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Combs?
Thank you. I concur with Member Gray. I think it's a very, very complex, very difficult decision. I would be curious to see if in the last 5 years, was it decreasing steadily, or because after we brought the agency, did we lose so many more nurses? I mean, that's my question. Or is it pretty much the steady rate either way?
it's been a pretty steady rate of us losing people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. And I think that you're seeing a couple areas, nursing and education, where there's real huge shortages of workforce. But what's happened is we have increased, as a state or hospitals have increased paying nurses while we haven't done that in education. So I think what you're seeing is nurses who were in the schools and who are now working at hospitals and making probably 30-40% more, or in different locations. So that's a really big issue, and that's why it's really important to continue educating people on how poorly the state of Florida is paying our educators. I think that's very important to continue saying that. And when you look at this, I think it's really important to look at the breakdown, and I had talked to Superintendent Ayers about that, is that the nurses, they're seeing the dollar amount, but I'd love to see the breakdown. And we had talked about looking at that, and I don't need it today, but the cost of insurance and benefits and being in the state retirement system, and how all of those dollars, what that would total per hour compared to our nurses. No matter what, I mean, we're losing nurses left and right. There are some pockets where people are going to leave and they're just not going to come back because we're not able to pay them. Same with our ESE teachers, right? We're losing a lot. Those are two areas, nurses, teachers, and bus drivers, where we're almost subcontracting because we don't have a choice. So for me, obviously, it's really hard for me to say I want to support a subcontractor more, but at the end of the day, I have to make my decision based on what's best for students and what's going to make sure that if a student falls or hurts themselves, that when they go to the nurse's office, that there is someone there. But I think sharing that breakdown and sharing it with the nurses, and for them to see that would let them understand that more. And thank you for the leadership as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Rendon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for taking so much time and looking into this. And as I delve into this, because, in my field alone, that on my other side of the hat, I deal with nurses all the time throughout all of Hillsborough County and throughout the state of Florida. And one of the key problems that we have is our reimbursement rate from ACA. And I think that's something that we need to seriously look at as a district and prioritize as we look at our next legislative year, working with our lawmakers and getting ACA to recognize that we are not paid the same rate as they are paying hospitals. Because the ACA rate for nurses in Hillsborough County or all of our districts within our schools is not the same as the nursing rate that ACA is paying for a nursing home or for a hospital. And we've got to bring us up to line to deal with that. There's many times our nurses are dealing just like a psychiatric nurse is dealing with, and they're giving psychiatric medications. They have to know the side effects of psychiatric medications. We have so many students today that are taking psychiatric medications. They have to know how to deal with behaviors. They have to know how to deal with multiple illnesses on a regular basis. They have to know how to deal with multiple medications, the consequences of that. So we're dealing with a very different field than we were 10, 15 years ago. And so it's critically important. So I urge this board to make this a priority as we move into our next legislative session, because this is something we can advocate for. We can advocate for the change in the rate schedule in which we are being reimbursed by Medicaid. That makes a huge difference in what we are able to pay. That is not a state as far as our legislative body, but it is an ACA body, and we do need to make sure we're communicating with ACA that they're not providing a proper rate schedule to us. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we are all seeing within the nursing field a change, right? Across the board, whether it's hospitals, nursing homes, all the fields. Many of them are going to contracted positions because they like the flexibility. They like the here, there, everywhere, because of the fact that when COVID hit, the requirements that were put on nurses were so dramatic. They were asked to do more than they ever were before in the history of nursing. And because of that, having a contracted situation takes away that burden of requirement. And so that is something we are seeing, whether it's in a hospital, a nursing home, any of our fields. I myself deal with Maxim, Catalanas Nursing, CSI. We're having to do the exact same thing, working with individuals with intellectual disabilities and developmental disabilities in group homes and in day programs. We're having to work through these contracted agencies because it's a shift in the industry. But again, like Member Combs said, we do offer something that others do not, that hospitals do not. We offer a daytime shift. We offer benefits. We offer retirement. We offer long-term things. So I think we as a district have to look and make sure that we're doing the maximize we can by advocating for all of our nurses, by getting that higher reimbursement rate so we as a district have more funds to work with. At the same time, making sure that we're advertising what the benefit is to working for us. I think those are two things that are critically important to maximize what we can do for our nurses. And the environment. We have a phenomenal environment within our schools, a supportive environment, an area in which we value our nurses, highly value our nurses, and they're highly respected within our field as well as you are, the three of you are as well. So I think we have to look at it from a multi-pronged approach. Obviously, we need to pass this today because we need to make sure we have nurses in our schools. We cannot take that chance. We've got to fulfill IEPs. We've got to fulfill federal mandates that we are meeting those requirements for students, whether it's feeding them, whether it's giving them their medication. So we have to do this, but we definitely want to circle back and find better ways that we're going to be able to fund it and better ways that we're going to look at this from a global standpoint. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Vaughn.
Member Vaughn. Thank you. I appreciate those comments. I know that we have been here several times before, again, with our ESE professionals, and I know that it's really disheartening when our employees look at that and they're looking through the classifieds and they see that we're outsourcing and paying at a much higher rate. It makes them feel extremely just unvalued, not appreciated. And I agree that we're just in a hard spot and we have to make sure that we're getting the employees in our schools to support our students. I really appreciate the legislative piece and how we as a board can look at prioritizing that when we go for our legislative priorities next year. We've seen some movement on our priorities, and I think that's really helping. And while I spend a lot of time in my school and a lot of time nurses come up to me, and as we know, I've been advocating for them very hard recently. As much as they are frustrated about the pay, I think there are other things, to your point, in our environment that we can look at. And so what I'm wondering is, as I hear that we're losing nurses, are we doing exit surveys, exit interviews to figure out if there are other things aside from just the pay that we can actually focus on? I see you shaking your head, yes. So what are we learning from these exit surveys aside from the pay that we can do to help keep and retain our nurses?
So unfortunately, it is pay,
Okay.
know, and you all echoed exactly what's going on in the field, so I'm not going to repeat that. We did include, Member Combs, our benefits with that in that rate that you have. So that is already included. And I do want to say that Mr. Ayers, our Superintendent Ayers, Ms. Brown, our budget and HR people have been already kind of ahead of this and looking at this since they took over, for instance, for their leadership. So they did, see this right away, from as opposed to the previous administration.
Okay, so I appreciate that we're capturing any information that we can as they leave the field. And I'm surprised it's just pay because, again, that's not necessarily what I'm hearing when I'm talking to them in the school. So I don't know if there's an ability to maybe send out a survey or get some more information specifically from our nurses, or just engage them to where they feel like they're valued and part of the conversation as we discuss all of our employees and making sure they have a livable wage and they're supported in our district. So
thank you. And what we will do is we'll work together to get a more confidential one. Because currently what we do is use the form. There's like a checkoff box on reason for leaving, and that's what we're going by.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. So I, like Member Rendon, have a very different window into seeing the nurses because I've been a hospital social worker for 25 years. So I've seen a very different shift in what's happened in our healthcare system. When COVID hit, a lot of our nurses decided that to go take on the traveling nurses bit. And so because they could work for a couple of weeks, go somewhere else, relax, and it wasn't so focused on one place it's 8 to 12-hour shifts and things like that. And what they kept saying was that they needed that mental respite. So they were able to do that far away, from their everyday space. So I'm going to squash the myth of the fact that it was about just pay. I think COVID really did a number on a lot of our providers, our nurses, our doctors, even the social workers, the mental health staff in the hospitals. Our nurses, they not only provide the medication management for our students, but they also help families get access to health insurance. They coordinate making sure that the families are speaking with their healthcare providers. And they also make sure that they reduce the hospital stays for our students and those trips to the hospitals, because they're monitoring and they're helping our students not just stay out of the hospitals, but stay in school. So have we talked about that respite time that our RNs would have over the summer, and that block of time that they could get that downtime being here in the Hillsborough County Schools?
So many of our nurses do take off for the summer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And again, I'm only going by like the data that, is checked off in the boxes when they leave. So that's information that we're going by.
So do they do that, traveling nurses, during that summertime break?
Some of them do. Some of them go back in the hospital, because they want to keep up the skill set from the hospital space. Some work at the VA, during the summertime. And then some just really just take a break, like our teachers.
Okay.
So that parallel between teachers and nurses was awesome. It was right on target.
On target, yeah. Okay. But, yeah, we do need the supplemental nursing staff and, to help us, keep our students at least, here in school and out of the emergency rooms. But thank you for presenting this. Seeing no further comments or questions, please vote when your light appears. And it passes unanimously. Next item is 504, approved agreement with Play on Sports. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since 2019, Hillsborough County Public Schools has used cameras at each high school stadium and gymnasium. Cameras at each high school stadium and gymnasium allow spectators to view live streaming contests when they are not able to attend. Live streaming gives colleges more opportunities to watch student athletes perform. Colleges that view games will help HCPS student athletes attain athletic and academic scholarships as well. Live streaming offers an additional source of security as well at athletic contests. There is no cost to this agenda item to HCPS. Subscription costs are at the expense of the spectator. Camera maintenance and repairs are provided by Play on Sports. And again, this agreement has been since 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. I need a motion and a second. I have a motion by Member Combs, a second by Member Washington. Member Rendon, you pull this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time, and thank you, Mr. Robinson. So a couple questions I still have. I appreciate the fact of the information I've been given. I appreciate knowing that subscriptions are very minimal at $12 a month and $80 a year. And if you do have an athlete, many of our athletes, just the equipment alone costs quite a bit more than that. So I understand that. I'm still not clear on if I'm an athlete and I do not have a subscription, do I have the ability to put together a video of my performance in order to use that for college coaches? At this point, I can't. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. Does my coach have the ability to do that or not?
Yes. The coaches have access to the games that are recorded.
But they don't own the footage. So I'm asking, do they still have the authority to cut and paste and make video outside of the footage they've been given? Because right now, especially when it comes to sporting events and music and copyright, that it's an issue. So I want to make sure that our athletes have the ability to get videos put together for them in order to go out for scholarships in the right, correct way. Because it is critically important that our coaches have that access to do that. I know the coaches have the access to the footage, but can they use it to then cut and paste and use it for something else? Do we own it or do they own it?
They own it, but they allow our coaches to use it. They can't do a full video. They can't have a full video, but they can take clips from the videos.
But there's nothing in our contract that gives them the authority to do that I saw. Am I correct? Because I want to make sure this doesn't come back and bite us in the end. I want to make sure that our students have that access, like the ability to have those videos. It's critically important. I mean, we're talking multi-million dollars now with colleges where you're selling equipment, you're selling yourself. It's important. I mean, we have athletes that are going, in many aspects, whether it's college or professionals. And so I don't want this to come back and be a loophole and something they should not have done. And they're sending it out to multiple colleges, because I don't see that where that gives us permission to cut and splice any of their footage. Can we look at that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that would be my first concern, because I want to make sure I know if they don't have, any time, because if I took it and I'm watching it, do I have the authority to cut and paste it? Like, it doesn't give us any authority to cut and paste any footage that they have given us. And that to me is a copyright possibility infringement. Am I missing something?
No, and just so I'm clear, so just if I'm a student and I do not have a student athlete, I have no subscription, I cannot utilize Play On Video to make my own highlight reels. However, our coaches that are on our campuses can utilize and create highlight reels for students, correct? Yes, and that's currently what is happening.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But there's nothing in writing that's happening. That's what I'm clarifying. No, but there's nothing in writing from the contract that that they are providing film for. They own the film, and that's where my legality part concerns me, that we have nothing in this contract that gives that legality. Do you see where my concern comes in?
Yes. My understanding is that's been the practice since 2019. We'll go back and look at the contract, and if it's something we can do to tighten it up, we'll do that.
I mean, I would like to see that contract tighten up to make sure that it doesn't come back to hurt our athletes, because as we all know, the laws are changing with our athletes, and college athletes now can sell merchandise. High school athletes can now sell merchandise. So we've got to be very careful.
Not yet. It's coming, but not yet.
But they cannot sell an athlete based upon their school. But we do have high school athletes out there that are working for different programs or modeling and other things out there. And it's because they're a baseball player. Now, they may not be the Bloomingdale baseball player, but they're a baseball player. So it does happen, and there's a lot going on, and I don't want it to come back and bite us. The other thing is, when I saw within the contract is we have a 20% revenue coming in, but I've not seen any numbers of what that has looked like over the course of 5 years. We have no detail of what that revenue, what has been. So
we can go back and get those numbers. It's been nominal. I mean, the number of people that actually have subscriptions is not very high, but we have continued to offer it as an option for those that want to watch games, obviously.
So as we look at this and we move forward, I think it's critically important that this contract also gives us the authority to put it on all of our scoreboards and allowing parents to know. I mean, I have had student athletes in Hillsborough County for 10 years, and I did not know Play On was our new vendor, because I didn't even recognize that they were in our gyms. I knew they were on our field for football, did not know anything else. I would like to know why we haven't talked about baseball. Like, why is that not a part of this contract? I know it's not in our stadium or our gym, but baseball is going on with many different things. And again, another aspect, we should be making sure it's utilized to all of our sports. And again, we have 20% of our revenue coming in from this contract, but yet we don't know, A, how much that looks like, B, what have we done with the money? And C, what have we done to bolster it? Because the contract gives us the right to advertise, to go out and show that and go around that. So I think we have a unique ability to utilize this in many more ways in a safe way if we can firm up the contract. And then the last thing I want to know from this is it also talked about in here in which we can get sponsorships. Have we gotten any sponsorships over the last 5 years for this program or to be able to utilize it for our students or anything?
Schools have not taken advantage of it, no ma'am.
So it's based on the school. So we as an athletic department or a district have not gone out for any sponsorships. I think these are legitimate concerns of fiscal responsibility and where we can find additional resources. One, there's a lot of open-ended questions to this which concern me from a legality point of view. So, unfortunately, I'm going to say no to, because not that I'm not for this program or a program, I think we need to firm this up more before I can approve it.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments? Okay. All right. Please vote when you see your light up here. And it passes with Member Vaughn, myself, and Member Rendon dissenting. The next item is item 601, budget amendments for period ending February 29, 2024 and March 31st, 2024. Romanier Johnson will highlight this item.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. We will have a brief presentation from Ms. Garcia on our budget ending March 31st, 2024.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Ayers. This particular slide depicts the column A. You can see that this is the September 9th approved budget, where we predicted we were going to have a $6.1 million surplus, and our fund balance was going to be $336 million projections. Column B shows the revised budget as of the end of February. So this kind of encompasses 2 months, February and March, due to timing. So in February, we have a $1.768 billion budget predicted and an expenditure budget of 1.776, which actually caused a deficit of $7.1 million. Our fund balance, if this were to come true, would have been $322 million. And our column C, that's the end of the March. So the revenue projected is still the 1.768, but our expenditure projections actually decreased to 1.745, and this was caused by a $30 million decrease from the third calculation, which was due to the charter schools enrollment. So it actually decreased our expenditures. So at this point in time, we had a $23.1 million surplus and a projected fund balance of $353 million. This next slide, if you look at column E, you'll see that these are the actuals, what we received through the month of March. We received $1.4 billion of our revenue, and that represents 80% of our projections. And we expended $1.236 in expenditures, which is 71% of our expenditures. It gave us a surplus at the end of March, only at the end of March, of $173 million with an ending fund balance of $503 million. Now, remember that at this time of the year, our fund balance is usually pretty high. It starts decreasing as our expenditures start increasing. So if you look at this chart, the blue is actually the revenues and the yellows are the expenditures. As you can see, from July through November, our expenditures exceed our revenue. Come December, we get our influx of property tax dollars, so that our revenue exceeds our expenditures and continues to exceed it really just through December and January. Come February, the expenditures start increasing and our revenue receipts start decreasing. So, this is the same bell curve that you're going to see in the following slide of the cash that we normally go through. And again, this is through July through November, our cash is decreasing with the lowest one at the end of November. In December and January, again, we've received our property tax revenues, so those are the highest months of cash that we have on hand, and it starts decreasing again until the projection for the end of the year is going to be $374 million. And this next slide we normally present. The first slide is actually representative of the end of March, which shows a $503 million fund balance. The one next to it is where we project to be at the end of June 30th, which shows a $353 million ending fund balance. Any questions?
I need a motion and a second to approve item C601. I have a motion by Member Vaughn and a second by Member Gray. Member Vaughn and Member Gray, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments? Member Vaughn?
Thank you. I appreciate this. I just want to clarify for the reduction that we had where it was overestimated, that was for charter schools specifically and not us overestimating our enrollment. So while it all goes into the same pot of money, that is from the charter school, the reduction.
Correct.
And overall, as a district, we ended up with an increase.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Gray?
Thank you, Ms. Garcia, Madam Chair. Thank you. I wanted to look at the fund balance, which is, fairly high. Can you show or share how much is, and this is the projection, the June projection, how much is restricted and how much is unrestricted?
So 20% of that budget is the total unrestricted fund balance. At this point in time, 17% is the unrestricted portion. These are just estimates.
Right, those are estimates. But what's interesting is, and Ms. Romanier, I did compliment you and Ms. Garcia about building in certain types of expenditures. But what we might not have done is the property tax. The increase of insurance, property insurance. And I know Mr. Farkas will bring that up on another agenda item, but maybe you would share or can share what are some of the costs. I know Member Vaughn just shared the charter school, the FTE from that, but you built in some of the possible losses in the projected fund balance. Would you like to share some of the build-ins that you have done to make sure that when we say aloud the fund balance, it is with those certain criteria being already imagined?
So we built in the increase in cost of insurance, both health insurance and property insurance. We looked at utilities, which was an increase. We actually included vacancies as part of our cost. And we actually look at revenue too, so it's all these different things besides the unweighted FTE.
Okay, and just for transparency, there's still this misnomer that we gain lottery fees, we gain lottery monies. Perhaps you'd like to clarify that. I can't say it enough, but coming from you, it might sound a little bit different. So
the lottery does give the schools, not the schools, education dollars. So a big portion of what they give is school recognition dollars, which goes to the schools and to the teachers. They're rewarded for if they get an A grade or if they increase their grade. It does not come to the district for discretionary spending at all. In the past, we used to get a portion that was discretionary. We no longer get that. We haven't gotten it in a couple years. They do give Bright Futures out of that to the students, and they give the universities and community colleges dollars. So when they talk about giving dollars to education, this is where all the education dollars are going. But the district does not get discretionary spending dollars.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, that's all my questions for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Combs?
I'm sorry. I think that was from before. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further questions or comments, please vote when your light appears. And it passes unanimously with Member Washington away from the dais. Next item is 7.14, purchase of quoted excessive property insurance program. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excess liability insurance is designed to respond when underlying limits of other policies have been exhausted in relationship to a variety of disasters. Examples: fires, floods, sinkholes, and wind. Excessive liability insurance provides coverage and protection to HCPS from claims that exceed the current primary coverage. Excess liability insurance covers exceptionally large events or losses with low probabilities of occurrence. However, when these events do occur, the cost normally exceeds the underlying liabilities policy's coverage. Excess liability insurance offers high limits of financial protection to HCPS for unexpected events. I do have Corey's Culpepper as part of our team. Also, Maggie Boykin with First Florida Insurance Broker is also with us to answer any questions we have regarding this agenda item. I do want to add that the agenda item that was listed there, as this item, as you board members know, gets out to you way ahead of time. The guaranteed maximum price that was on the agenda item was $11.8 million. We do have a update on that number. Ms. Boykin, if you want to give us what the actual cost came to. So the 11.8 you see on the agenda item was, of course, weeks and weeks ahead. We did get the number back. So Ms. Boykin, if you want to share real quick, and then we'll get to any questions.
Absolutely. We do a not to exceed because we have to get the agenda item in so far in advance. So since we've put that in, the premium has come down from $11.8 million to $11.5. It's a $277,000 savings to the district.
So as we look at that, it really is there any? And so I think last year, I'm not sure.
Last year it was 11.4.
Okay.
So it's about a $150,000 increase over last year, but the total insured values of the district increased by 6.27%. So what we're seeing here is an actual rate decrease this year of 4.6%.
Thank you, Ms. Boykin. And Madam Chair, that's the agenda item. We're here to answer any questions you have regarding this item.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. I need a motion and a second to approve item C 7.14. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Washington. Member Gray and Member Rendon, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments? Member Gray?
Yeah, this is in the spirit of the future budget, the projected budget. And I just wanted to see also if we put that into our projected budget. It's not the biggest increase, by the way. In fact, I'm shocked. Yeah, because property insurance is a nightmare for most people. But anyway, it's still money, right? Ms. Johnson, did you put that in the budget also, the property?
Yes, we do put the property value increase in the budget, and we budget for it, and will be reduced by the savings.
Okay. All right, so it's budgeted. That was my question and my concern. So very good. I don't know who shopped around for this. You all did? Go ahead.
Correct. We're the insurance broker for the district per our contract, so we work with different wholesalers and the entire marketplace that will write in Florida. And it's a layered program, which means, like your homeowner's insurance, you have one carrier. The school district has between 16 and 20 carriers that all participate at different levels. So we have that not to exceed a month ago when we came in and had to give the not to exceed. And then we work to kind of move the carriers around to make sure we're getting the best dollar savings for you guys and the best premium dollars that we can make work.
Well, job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Rendon?
Thank you for those comments. Insurance is a bad word to me. I'm so sorry. I personally have suffered the wrath of the car insurance this year, more than doubled, so I get it. But I also understand I've become more knowledgeable than I ever want to be when it comes to insurance. At the end of the day, we all know that every single broker that we work with has different carriers that they work with. So one broker may have 20 different carriers. Another broker may have some overlap, right? Some brokers work with that in different ways.
So when it comes to the property insurance, because Florida is a tier 1 state, there's only it's more than a handful, obviously, 20 to 30 carriers that will even write. So the different brokers they all utilize the same. There might be a couple specifics, but for the most part, it's the same pool of insurance carriers, no matter who the broker is.
Correct. And so, one of my reasons for pulling this is because we need to make sure that we keep with our systems, right? And so we do have a due diligence, and we do have the ability to, when we wrote this initially, we then have the ability to, I believe it's 3 years, to do a year by year, as we gave them the authority to do that. But as we look at changing events and changing things in the district, I think it's always good to know that we go back to the drawing board. I think it's important that we shop around on a regular basis. Not anything against a broker, as you would know, but it is something that we definitely have to be conscious of because we can't do it in one arena and not the other. So I think it's important to note that this is not a shop around contract. We did not shop around. We are using the same broker. We're using in order to shop the same coverage, and we're choosing to go with that. And I think we just want to make sure we have that on the record that we did not shop around, that we are using the same broker. We're thankful that you came in with the rate you did. I mean, not that that's not the issue here at all. It's a matter of that we need to be consistent in our practices. And so it needs to go on the record that we are using the same broker. We did not shop around. We did not go for an RFP. We've just extended our contract another year.
Superintendent?
Yeah, and Mr. Colbert, you can jump in, but I believe, Member Rendon, in October of 23, there was an agenda item where we did go out for an RFP and First Florida was chosen, but absolutely, you are correct. I mean, each year we'll make sure that we, do our due diligence and look for the best price and value. But I do believe
the RFP and the contract was for that time period. We're just extending it at this without an RFP because we gave them the authority to extend it without going to an RFP.
Correct.
Okay.
Madam Chair, board members, superintendent, myself and Mr. Farkas have talked very candidly about always doing what's best for the district to ensure that we are being fair and honest stewards of the process that we have related to all of our operational needs. We are moving forward next year to put this back out in an RFP to ensure that we're getting the best for the district, safeguarding the district as well as our property as well. So this has already been discussed, and we'll move forward with that. The relationship between First Florida and the school board has been phenomenal. They're always there. They're always there to answer the calls, always there to ensure that every piece of our property is insured. Every year we go through a hurricane wipe down where we look at making sure that everything related to the hurricane is in our bundle of things to be prepared for. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm not saying we don't have a good relationship, and we do, but it is noted that we're approving a contract as it is, and we extended it another year. I just want to make sure it's on the record.
Yes, ma'am, and it would be unfair to us if we didn't go out and always look to get the best for our district as well as our students, faculty, and staff.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Any further comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, please vote when your light appears. And it passes unanimously. Now we will take employee input. Even though we hear public comment at the beginning of the meeting, it is sometimes difficult for employees of our district to attend meetings at 4 p.m. There are many ways for employees to make their voices heard, including through union representatives, emails, phone calls, one-on-one conversations, and public comment at the beginning of the meeting. The board wants to hear from you. With this section of our agenda, we are creating another avenue for employees to speak to the board. We are setting aside 30 minutes for employees of the district to speak to the board about any issues that are on your mind. This is not intended to be a discussion about specific agenda items on tonight's agenda, but rather an opportunity for you to speak to the board about any issues related to your job or the district. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. I will now call the first 3 speakers.
Hey, good evening. Rob Creed, CTA. Thank you, everyone. We're super excited and enthusiastic about getting back to the bargaining table. So that is one of the ways, and we've talked a lot about this when I show up at these meetings, about ways that we can make our district a little bit more welcoming. And this is one of the progressive things that I agree that we could do with your collaboration and cooperation. So we're super excited about that. We will be talking about nurses, and I'm glad that you guys are having that conversation here tonight. We recognize the issue as well. And, you know, Member Rendon, I think there's a lot of wisdom in what you're proposing, and the history that you have there, I think, is a great lens that we could put over what we're going to try to figure something out, because the problem is real and we have to do something about it. Other than that, the only other thing I have is, like the inimitable Mr. Clutho, I brought an artifact tonight. This came in the mail. I got one here. It says a job fair from Manatee County. And they're inviting employees to come on down to Manatee County to get jobs there where they have competitive benefits and salary down there. Now, if you look at it, yeah, they're actually sending postcards. Now, I live in Riverview, so maybe they're doing it in the southern part of the district. But I do want to point out that it was sent to Carolyn Crete, not Robert Crete, so they weren't looking for me. So for the record, they didn't really want me. But my wife got one of these, and, you know, we were shocked. We were shocked. So something has to be done. I think we have a plan right now, so I'm just pointing that out, and I'll make a copy of this if you ever want to see it. I don't know if you live on the south end of the district or if they're recruiting school board members, but they're not looking for me either. So anyway, thank you all for the collaboration and the cooperation, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Jennifer Shiver, currently in transition, I guess. Okay, so it was in March, like, this is just funny, because it was in March that I stood up here and talked about this culture of fear, and I almost said the words, and I fear my job will be cut. Last Wednesday at 3:30 it was. Absolutely. No warning. And apparently there is some sort of 3-year elective rotation in the ESE centers. That would have been nice to know when I took the job. Yeah, that face, I love that. You know, and here's another caveat for you, Chairman Perez. I left campus at 3:30 that afternoon because I just didn't want to face anybody. Went home, took 2 sick days to get my resume together, to start calling people. So I have 5 certifications. I'm going to be okay. I'm not worried. This is going to be a cut in pay, and I'm losing my 12 months. But it's going to be all right. But not one person from my campus called to check on me, my mental health, my welfare, none of that. I live with more than educators in my home. My husband owns a business, agriculture. He owns about 50 acres in this county, and you dare ask him for a millage after this is the second time his wife has been treated this way, and the first time for speaking up about what was happening to students at Brandon. I knew it as Alternative, Brandon Epic, Brandon Success Center, whatever we're calling it now. It's so bad we had to change the name 3 times. Yeah. Clean up your district. Clean it up. This is ridiculous. You know, I don't know. My son said to me he's going into ag education and communications. He said to me last Wednesday, he said, maybe I'm choosing the wrong profession. I said, no, son, just keep your mouth shut. Yeah. I don't know a teacher that has gone into education ever for the money. I mean, we throw that around. I have yet to meet an educator that has gone into the profession for the money. It's because there is no support for loyal employees. None. I know it. I've felt it for 4 years. It's real. And I took this job. I had one in Polk County. I was moving. I took this job because I thought this would be a nice place to hide. And since I've been CTA rep, I think I mentioned that too, right? It has been a problem on my campus because I've raised my voice. Clean up your district. One more culture of fear. Paras being told not to call the abuse hotline by their principal, who said it was because of the executive director. Now, how do we expect a para who is working 2 or 3 jobs to go against that? Terrified they will lose their job. But that is very real thing. Absolutely. It happened. Clean up your district.
We're going to move into the superintendent's comments. Is there any more speakers? I don't think there's no more speakers. Yeah, superintendent.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. We're going to move on and to our previous teacher speaker. Ms. McCray is heading out there right now to talk with her, see what's going on. Yep. All right, superintendent's updates this evening. I'd like to start out with our volunteers are amazing. We have more than 60,000 volunteers, community partners, and mentors who generously contribute over 398,000 volunteer hours to our district. Since April is recognized as Florida School Volunteer Appreciation Month and next week, April 21st through 27th, is National Volunteer Week, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each of our volunteers. Your dedication and support are amazing, and you help make a significant impact in the lives of our students. Thank you. So that is next week, National Volunteer Week, April 21st through 27th. Just want to take an opportunity and thank all of our volunteers. As mentioned, we had a recognition earlier. April is Month of the Military Child. Just to follow up on what Dr. Hahn had mentioned earlier, tomorrow is Purple Up Day. So let's help us honor those schools and military families. Join us in wearing purple tomorrow in recognition of Month of the Military Child. So around one of our strategic plan priorities around supportive organizational culture. Here's an example of our teachers genuinely looking out for students. Mr. Joshua Herman is a forensic science teacher, as well as the head track coach at East Bay High School. He saw a post on Facebook from Helping Hands in South Shore of a mom donating her son's power wheelchair. Mr. Herman called the ESC department at East Bay and asked if they knew of a student who could use the chair. ESC specialist Tyler Sherman immediately knew of a student who needed the chair. Everyone got connected, and that student now has the power wheelchair he needs. Thank you, Mr. Herman, for perfectly demonstrating supportive organizational culture and always keeping your eyes and heart open for ways to help our students. Thank you. It was announced last week on a priority around academic excellence. I did want to congratulate our 22-23 Schools of Excellence Award winner. We're proud to announce that 38 of our schools were recognized as Schools of Excellence by the Florida State Board of Education. So what does that mean? Schools of Excellence are schools whose school grade calculation is in the 80th percentile or higher for at least 2 of the last 3 school years. The Florida legislature established this program in 2017 as an initiative to recognize and reward Florida's highest performing schools. I am incredibly proud of our students, teachers, administrators, and support staff who have all contributed to the success of their schools. Congratulations to those 38 schools. So last night we had our awards. Congrats to our 23-24 Hillsborough Association, the Haslams, Hillsborough Association of School Library Media Specialists Award recipients. We did have an opportunity to be there last night at Tampa Palms. These 4 individuals were nominated and recognized last night during the annual Haslam's banquet. The ceremony came at the perfect time as the American Association of School Librarians deemed April as School Library Month. Thank you to Michelle, Tasha, Christina, and Ovette for your outstanding contributions and support to school library media programs across our district. We do have just 2 quick updates on suspended agenda around economic and community development, which is on our suspended agenda list. On today's consent agenda, 3 items included projects totaling approximately $5.3 million from our sales tax referendum. And as you all remember from our recognition meeting last week, energy efficiency savings, our district efforts were highlighted during last week's board recognition meeting. Mr. Farkas and McKinstry recognized our 23 Energy Star certified schools. I appreciate McKinstry coming out during a recognition and highlighting all of our energy savings we've made so far in our district. And Madam Chair, those are my superintendent's updates for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. Now we're going to move into board comments. Board members, you had just a reminder, you have 5 minutes each to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. If everybody wants to get in the queue, we only have, now we have some folks. Member Gray?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to also, I was going to introduce the fact, Superintendent Van Ayers, I thought didn't we have a slideshow for the Race for Education or not? No?
I don't. I think no, I don't have one, but you can definitely have the honors, our Race for Education, and what a success it was. Yours.
Yeah, it was a huge success, and the sea of blue shirts was just awesome. We had a no excuse weather. Over 1,200 of our folks, thank you, Member Washington, Member Combs, Member Rendon, Member Perez for coming out. But the big thanks not only to our participants and our wonderful supervisors and teachers for participating the big one goes to the HEF, Hillsborough Education Foundation. And Superintendent Van Ayers, we started, well, heck, I started in 2016, the Hillsborough Healthy Schools, and this was our pinnacle event. But you've been with us every step of the way before you were even superintendent. So Anne-Marie Courtney, too, a tremendous asset wherever she may be. She worked her head off. And our sponsors were just so very gracious and very supportive. But the biggest thing is we all had what is called, and Ms. Shiver, I'm also looking at you, is called the joy of movement. It's a way where children, young adults, older adults just can get out in fresh air and enjoy camaraderie, team building, all the affective ways, words that bring people together. At any rate, yes, very, very happy. Pablo, put that slide on for the energy. I think what I wanted to say, oh, here it is. Okay. So when we talk about going for a millage, going to raise property taxes, that kind of thing, I've always been told that you have to manifest how our district is saving money. What are we doing to save money? Now, Ms. Johnson, you've done an incredible job in getting a very healthy fund balance, and that goes without saying. But also, we have these schools, 2023 Energy Star certified schools. They have done tremendous amount of savings in energy, and they have been. This is Generate Energy Star certified schools, 85 of them, saving a lot of electricity, LED lamps, etc. But we also added 29 new schools. So, we're doing a lot to support the environment, and I think that needs to be mentioned because our schools are very much involved in this. So congratulations to all of our new Energy Star certified schools, and I don't know whether I want to go through all of them right this moment. Next, but I will if we have time. Oh, I'm going to run out of time. So next we want to celebrate, we all came to the World Autism Day at Lavoie Exceptional Center, and I want to thank Principal Bashan and staff for the dedication and passion. Member Rendon, I don't know, Sheikh, you weren't there. Member Combs was there. And I believe Member Vaughn was there. I'm not positive. This was the World Autism Day. But the point is, the firefighters came out, the City of Tampa Police came out. We had so much, just a lot of backing for these children, and it was heartfelt. And other than that, and here are I'm not going to go through, I have time. Pablo, put the slide up. Let's go through those schools so they can be recognized for their energy savings. There it is. Okay. Congratulations, Bellamy, Blake, Claremelle, Claywell, Forest Hills, Foster, Graham, Greco, Hunters Green, Knights, Lomax, Lowry, McDonald, Lutz K through 8, Mort, Pizzo, Rampella, Robles, Roger Middle, Roosevelt, Rosac, our building, Steinbrenner, Town and Country, Valrico, Velasco, Warren Hope Dawson, Walton, that's at New York, Witter, and Young for getting to be a new Energy Star certified school. So congratulations. Thank you all.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Combs?
Thank you. Just a couple things. I just wanted to say that the Race for Education was just a huge, huge success. And thank you, Member Gray. This was our third annual. I've been to every one every year, and it's bigger and bigger. And I don't know about racing, but they say 93% of the racers showed up, which was amazing. So that was really huge. And to see so many people who advocate and support our schools show up was just a really, really wonderful event. And we had so many different other individuals there. And I wanted to give a special shout out to AMI Kids that they had their new portable out there, the Serve Free yogurt and parfait to everyone. AMI is just such a great program, and to support us was wonderful. And as well, I just wanted to thank Principal Basham for Lavoie Exceptional Center for the World Autism Day. Just a couple things. We have so many great theater programs in our district, and I had the opportunity to see Peter Pan last week at Steinbrenner, and it was amazing. They had a whole bunch of students from McKittrick Elementary as well, and Mr. Brady, the theater department head, it was incredible. And then Thursday I'll be going to Mamma Mia at Sickles, but I think if you're retired and you don't want to spend a ton of money, you can go to our high school theater programs, and honestly, they're just amazing. The talent was amazing. And then I wanted to congratulate you, Superintendent Ayers, for being recognized at the Seniors in Service for your community membership and everything that you do. And that's such a great program. I know we're going to be recognizing them at the next board meeting, but that's such a great program to get some elderly people out into our schools and working with our students and volunteering. Seniors in Service is such a wonderful program. And just a couple other things that I wanted to mention. I was able to go to USF. I was undergrad and graduate degree from USF with Dr. Stephanie Tannenbaum. I was able to spend some time out there and meet those third level school interns and talk to them about my passion for education and how many opportunities and why come to Hillsborough County Public Schools and work. And I really wanted to say a special shout out to Kay Bonte. She works so hard to get our interns and to keep our interns. I think often, so many people work hard and they're not recognized, but she has just tirelessly worked towards that, and working so hard and looking everywhere for teachers and support staff, and that's really amazing. And I'm seeing that more and more on my Facebook when I'm friends with my principals, that a lot of them are sitting there advertising and looking for teachers. And it's just the importance of how we need to continue, as we paid our nurses more, that we pay our teachers more as well. So that way it's very hard for principals, because I know HR is working so hard, but you're seeing the principals also, that's their biggest concern, is going into the school year and having 7 or 8 or 9 openings or even more in some schools. So I just want to thank them and continue. I know I'm on the USF Dean's Advisory Council, and we're continuing to look at different ways on how to attract and retain young people or old people or anyone into the College of Education. But thank you, and that's it.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Vaughn.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Combs, for bringing up Ms. Tannenbaum's class. I had the privilege of being able to go in and speak to our interns, and hearing the concerns coming from them was so extremely enlightening to what we can do to make sure we're prepared, that they understand how to use our systems, understand the acronyms, and even many of them were advocating, if we can legislatively find a way to pay our interns for their final internship, because it's almost impossible sometimes for them to work in our school full time for their final internship. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to also mention some of the concerns from our interns that I wanted to speak to. I haven't been out as much as I'd like to, but I still have hit some really exciting events. A few weeks ago, Member Perez and we went to Clark Elementary. They had their 25th year celebration, which was amazing. They actually had Mr. Clark, who the school is named after there. He's 95 years old. First time I had ever, and I think Pablo, I think you have a picture from Member Perez. First time I've ever met who a school was actually named after, and what I learned about him and how he was such an amazing civil rights pioneer for students, to make sure that all students have access to education, and the work that he's done. Again, when I speak about the amazing Black history that we have here in Tampa, especially in education, it was such an amazing opportunity to learn about him. It had the first principal there, the entire first inaugural staff, almost every principal subsequent to that. The program was just amazing. It had teachers speaking. They honored teachers who had passed. It was one of the best things that I've been to. So hats off to Dr. Ribeiro and her entire staff over there for organizing that. Yeah, the student who spoke about his mom who passed away was amazing. Also, I had the opportunity to go to Bowers Whitley, which is a fantastic school we don't talk enough about. And I don't think a lot of people in our district know, and our students know, that they have a whole building construction and automotive program there that you can start as early as 9th grade. to go to and to learn. And I spoke to so many of the students there who were just so excited, coming from so many different schools, to have the opportunity to learn that, and such a good fit for them. And it's a magnet school, and we offer buses, and we actually work with some of our high schools so our students can leave early and take advantage of those classes. So hats off to Bowers Whitley, and if you don't know about it, you should. And then finally, I know many of us are going to speak, and you highlighted the Haslam's event last night where our media specialists have their banquet. One of my favorite events, always phenomenal. Thank you so much to our media specialists. They do such a fantastic job, not just in our schools every day, but organizing that banquet and collaborating and going to conferences. And I absolutely adore that event. So those are all the things that I wanted to highlight that I am very appreciative of, and great things that are happening in our district. However, I do want to speak to the continued issues that we have, concerns with our ESE parents. And I know that we've done a lot, and we've had a lot of transformation and transition in our ESE department, but I think it's something that as a board we've highlighted repeatedly we want movement on, and honestly I'm not really understanding or seeing where that movement is yet. So I'd love for us to have some information on some changes. One of the things I'm most concerned about are so many parents who have an actual autism diagnosis, where the diagnosis requires services that are being denied IEPs and services in our district. And that's just something that I really don't understand, and I'd love to know more about. I put in a request to get some more information, but I just wanted to talk about it here. So I know so many of my fellow board members, it's a concern and something that we're really advocating for, but I would love to actually hear what's being done about that, because some of the stuff that I hear is so concerning that we need to get answers on that. And I have full faith that I'll get the answers and we'll get this taken care of. So that's all I have to speak on today. Thank you so much. And that's all.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Rendon?
Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair. Pablo, do you have pictures? Thank you. So I wanted to highlight several of the things we're doing really well in our schools, and our students are just amazing. Today we are at Metropolitan Ministries, which are a huge partner with our homeless students, as well as a volunteer opportunity for many of our students. It's a wonderful organization that is truly helping our homeless families. We have over 460 some homeless students in Hillsborough County right now that are being supported by Metropolitan Ministries. And so I want to make sure I said a special thank you to them for what they do for our students. Next. Today, I also had the opportunity to go to Newsom High School. Newsom is one of many schools in our district that have honored the military child this month. And so, although I'm talking about Newsom, I want to make sure that I recognize all of our schools that have gone out of their way to make sure our military children feel appreciated, feel valued, feel supported in whatever they're experiencing, whether it's deployment, transition, etc. And so I wanted to highlight the great things that we are doing here in Hillsborough County schools. Next. This last weekend, Mr. Washington and I, don't you love this? Mr. Washington and I went to the Early Learning Symposium at Middleton High School, and our bus, do you see this phenomenal bus? That's the inside and the outside. That'll be our mobile classroom. Super, super excited to see it and to highlight it. Also, Mr. Washington and I, we participated in all of the activities as well. But it was a great opportunity that we brought together not only Hillsborough County early learning individuals, but also our providers from outside that are working individually, making sure they understand that as a district, early learning is a critical piece to making sure that we get on track and those kindergartners are ready for kindergarten when they get there. And so wanted to highlight what we're doing as a great new project within Hillsborough County. Next. Latinos in Action. I have not posted this on my Facebook yet because I just have not been able to do it due diligence. At the end of the day, we have so many great schools that are really highlighting the Latinos in our community. And these students are stepping up. They are taking leadership roles. They are organizing within their schools. They're giving back to their younger schools, to the younger students, whether it's tutoring or offering them helping with reading or whatever they need. This is just such a phenomenal program that we're seeing throughout our entire district. And we are such a leader amongst this program amongst the state of Florida. And so our Latinos in Action are just outstanding. And one of our newest schools, which is Tomlin Middle School, which is the first year in there, they even won third place in some of their awards that they were doing. And they're just ways in which we are showing students that you can take your culture and take your history and really be proud of who you are and take it with you wherever you go and shine. And so that's a wonderful program. Next. Arrive Alive. I cannot thank Melissa Snively, my predecessor, who worked with us on this and offered up. This is a simulator that when you're in the car, you are either impaired drinking, drugs, or on your cell phone. And the students had an opportunity to do all three of those and to be driving. And I myself did one as well. But it really shows the students what an impairment does. And so it really shows them how you have no idea how you are impaired you are unless you're doing it. So we look forward to partnering with some other state farm agencies. It does quite costly to bring that to our schools, to be able to expand that to more of our high schools next year, because what a phenomenal event that was there for 2 days, allowing as many students as we could get in cars to really test that. So thank you again to Melissa Snively and her State Farm agency. Is that it? Nope. One more. This was our Lavoy Awareness, World Autism Awareness. And so, again, Member Combs, Member Gray, and myself were able to go out there and work with our local fire department and our police department, really making awareness, because it's not just being aware of what autism is, but how it affects the individual and how it affects them when they're in different situations. And so being into different simulations around the campus, whether it's being involved with water and with sand and with your fine motors, to being able to listen to a siren or a police officer and familiarizing that sense, really bringing awareness. And I cannot thank both Tampa Fire and Tampa Police for taking the opportunity throughout their own culture and training to really be aware of our community and individuals with autism. And they do specific training throughout their community to make sure that's taken care of. So thank you very much. I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Washington?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm glad you had the opportunity to show the pictures and so forth for the symposium. I'm going to talk about something a little different. In memory of Mrs. Betty Lee Kinsey, it is my honor to share the memory of a beloved Hillsborough County Public Schools educator and community member. Mrs. Betty Lee Kinsey worked for the school district beginning in 1963 as a teacher at Lomax Elementary School. She continued until 2006 as a teacher at Meacham, Miles, Lockhart, Mitchell, and Stewart Middle School. She also served as a media specialist at Blake High School and Stewart Middle School. Mrs. Kinsey retired after 41 years of dedicated service to the students, families, and communities of Hillsborough County Public Schools. She came back and served another 4 years part-time, so she ended up with 45 years in the school district. She passed away. She's very well known in the community, a great human being, and an outstanding educator in Hillsborough County. Her husband was also a great educator in Hillsborough County, and he passed away some years ago. So I had to acknowledge that because with her dedication to the community and the hard work that she did over her time as a teacher, as a parent, as a friend, she is well deserved of this memory. And I wanted to do this because we have to remember people when they do good. There are many times we don't remember people when they do good. But she was an educator, and she did a great job. So I don't have nothing else to say. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Washington. And I was wondering where I don't have any pictures, but on April 6th, I joined Family Resources to bring awareness. Family Resources is with the Hispanic population for autism, and they're the children in the Hispanic community with autistic diagnosis, but the needs that they have. Also Sunday, they volunteered to go to Freedom to Read. And my grandchildren just had a blast. I think they took all the books out of it. And we are a reading family. And they just loved the fact that they got the book. So thank you to our union for providing that space to get these books out to our community. And then also Leadership Day. I went on April 12th for Leadership Day. And the principal graduation ceremony. That was awesome. To have these principals come, cross that line, graduate, they're in their schools, and I didn't see anybody crying coming over that line. They're excited to, continue being principals in our schools, and that's incredible. That was the best. That's just the best time. I think it was Member Rendon, myself, Member Washington, and Member Gray. We were all there. And I also went to AMI Kids as well. Superintendent, they do such amazing work with our kids, especially our kids that need that additional support in their world and that redirection to get them back on the right path. And when they're coming back, and they send them back to us, to be able to refocus and get across that stage to graduation. So I just wanted to acknowledge them and make sure that they understand that we appreciate the work that they do with our children. But as Member Vaughn, her concern, I want to talk about our children that are that have the needs for the IEPs and the 504s. Superintendent, I have recently, this has been an ongoing issue, but recently even more so. I don't know why, especially in our communities of color and our Latino communities. We tend to suspend these in these communities at a higher rate, according to what's been stated, because of their behavior being bad. But also, what I've recently found out is they're also being turned away because they're also too brilliant. I had a young man, he's getting ready for his for his educational career here in Hillsborough, and he needs the supports that we need to put in place for him. And his parents were told that we cannot provide those supports. He's autistic. He has 103 IQ. And the parents were told that we cannot provide the supports they need in order to provide this 5-year-old child with a career in Hillsborough County Schools. So we have a problem. We have a problem that we need to address. We have students that we need to support. And we have students that we're turning away from our schools whose parents are looking to place their students in our schools. And charter schools are sweeping these children up. So this really needs to be addressed. This needs to be fixed. And we need to do this ASAP, because in the last week I've received 7 phone calls. And with that said, no further comments. This meeting is adjourned.